Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Scott, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to paint a Locust from Halo Ground Command, which is a discontinued game. Now this model is a 3D printed model. We've painted it up in the Banished color scheme, or as close as we could get it to the Banished color scheme as it appears in Halo Wars 2. I'm excited to paint this model, so let's go ahead and jump into it. As I mentioned before, Halo Ground Command is a discontinued game, but it has a dedicated fan base that has continued to develop rules, new units, 3D print files, and has continued to host events. If you would like to get involved with Halo Ground Command, check in the description of this video, and there's a link to their Facebook group. The players are very welcoming, so I'm sure you'll fit in just fine. Now, time to start painting this model, and we've primed it with Leadbelcher spray primer. Once the primer is dry, we're going to start base coating the legs and all the under carapace sections of this model with Abaddon Black. Now, in retrospect, we probably should have primed the model with a black primer rather than Leadbelcher, but it's too late to change that now, so we're just going to stick with what we have. Now that we've finished the black, we're going to take Dawnstone, and we're going to highlight all the edges of the legs and under carapace. We're just going to be careful doing this. We're going to try and not overpaint. If we make any mistakes, we'll go back through and clean it up with Abaddon Black again later on. Once we're done with that, we're going to take Runelord Brass, and we're going to paint all the tubes that are underneath the head of the model. There's also a handful of tubes that are spread across the legs and a couple other spots of the model that we're going to pick out with this color. Once that's dried, we're going to shade it with Seraphim Sepia. We're going to be careful not to get this on the black because it will discolor the black just a little bit. But go ahead and just spread it all over the places where we painted the Runelord Brass previously. Now it's time to begin working on the armor. We're going to start by painting Iron Warriors, which is a bit darker than the Leadbelcher spray we used earlier. We're going to paint this in all the spots that would have gray or metallic colors on the armor panels. And we're going to have to use the artwork from the game to figure out where this needs to go. So be sure to keep some reference artwork on hand while you're painting this. Once that color is dried, we're going to begin to shade this using Contrast Basilicanum Gray. And we're going to do a thin coat on this, because if you go too thick, this will just turn your armor panels black. Now this is going to give us a slightly cleaner shade than using Nuln Oil, as long as we go in a thin coat. Once that's dried, we're going to dry brush Necron Compound all over the armor panels. This is going to brighten our metal colors back up. And it's going to give us this interesting color that's a little bit darker than Leadbelcher. Then we're going to begin working on the red armor. We're going to use Mephiston Red as the base color for this. We're going to paint it everywhere that the red appears in the artwork. Once we've finished coating the model with red, we're going to shade it with Carroburg Crimson. This is a red shade. It's going to continue to give us a red tone, but it's going to darken down the red that we've already painted. Once the shade is dried, we're going to build that red back up using Mephiston Red again. But we're not going to paint this everywhere. We're going to look for any spots where the shade has pooled up, and we're going to leave those spots darker. This is going to give us some contrasting red tones to our armor panels. And it's going to make it look like it's not as well maintained, the paint job has been allowed to age and weather over time. Now we're going to take Corn Red, and we're going to stipple this around the feet of the Locust. This is just going to give us a darker tone of red to make it look a little bit more dirty down the lower leg, and you're not going to be able to see this because it's a very similar color. Once that's done, we take Evil Sunz Scarlet, and we're going to edge highlight all the armor panels and any spots that we want to be brighter, as if they've faded, or maybe the paint's just newer, or even a different shade of paint when they repainted the armor. The Banished aren't known for being super uniform and clean, so this is a good opportunity to throw a little bit of chaos into the mix. Now that the red armor is done, we're going to go through and pick out any details that we want to be silver with Leadbelcher. There's a couple little gears on the side, little raised areas. We're also going to take this opportunity to start applying the chipping to the red paint. When we get down to the legs, we're just going to do vertical lines starting at the base of the leg moving upward. Now that the armor is pretty much done, we're going to start picking out the fine details. We're going to use Corax White, and we're going to pick out anywhere that we want to have light on the model. This is going to be a couple spots on the legs, a couple spots on the head, and the front of the head where the energy beam comes out of the model. All of those areas we're going to want to paint with this white. Once the white is dry, we're going to take Contrast Landen Yellow, so we're going to paint it over all the white areas. This is going to give the appearance of yellow light radiating off of the model. And at this stage, it's okay to go ahead and let this pool up in there. It'll just give different contrast to the different parts of the light. Our final step of this model will be cleaning up any of the spots where we overpainted, either with the yellow, the white, or any other color we mispainted earlier. And with that, we finished the Locust. Thank you for watching my video today. I want to give a special thanks to Vincent Colborn, who's the artist behind these fun 3D print files. If you've enjoyed this video today, go ahead and like, subscribe, and leave me a comment letting me know what you'd like to see in future videos. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.